see, I went to the group online and Googled you guys, and I saw this little comment saying, "Yay, I'm coming!" It was very exciting. So thank you. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I asked John not to kind of publicize this because some of you know I've written a book called Harry History. It's about the Harry Potter phenomenon, and it'll be out in November. And I'll be doing my first real public reading of it at Terminus. But I'm so nervous for that I might not survive until that time. So I asked if you guys would mind if I did a little practice with you guys. I'm going to take that as a positive answer. So I was really confused about which part to read to you guys in particular. There's the Wizard Rock stuff, which is kind of a gimme because you guys are always at the Wizard Rock stuff. I felt like that could wait. There's a lot of personal stuff. There's a lot of stuff with Joe, who has been interviewed for this book. But one of the parts that, as I hand it around to friends, keeps getting a lot of reaction, and people say it's kind of important to the book, is the part where I went to meet Laura Mallory, who is from Georgia. She's the woman who has been trying to get the Harry Potter band. See, I know, I'm not going to hear about her. But I think it says, I hope it says a lot about who we are as Harry Potter fans. So this is not the whole chapter. This is much too much to read here. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Okay, I'm so nervous, I'm shaking. This is the first time I've ever read my book out loud. So outside of my stupid little practices that go 2 minutes and I'm too embarrassed to continue in my room. So, and if you have, I know we have a video camera, and they've been very kind in allowing me to ask that a video of this particular, just the reading part, doesn't go on YouTube until after Terminus. I promised that would be the first real official.
Don't post about it on blogs.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's not like we're keeping it a secret from Terminus, but I just wanted to be taken in the spirit that it's fine. You're just totally going to tell people today. I came and hang out and shared some book with you. Okay. Yeah, I've never done this before. Joe Rowling does all those voices and stuff, and I'm not that girl. Okay. This is the very beginning of the chapter. Just keep in touch with me, my mother warned. I was packing up my bag, nearly ready to go to the airport. Keep me up to date on where you are. You never know if she's going to take you hostage or something. Ma, I said, though she had clearly been joking and we were both laughing. She hadn't been the first or even the sixth person to make the joke to me this week, that my visiting Laura Mallory in Georgia was going to result in bodily harm, or that sometime during the course of our meeting she was going to drag me off to view her private crucifix collection. More than one person suggested I could pick her out of the crowd by her horns, and every last friend I'd informed of this trip had given me raised eyebrows or exhaled heavily, or simply said, Jesus, which at least was on topic. I'm sure she's not evil, I assured my mother, and pondered this while zipping my travel bag. Maybe a little insane. I wonder what conversations Miss Mallory was having in Georgia. Were her friends telling her they could pick me out of a crowd by my pitchfork and fork tail? Did my standing in the Potter community mark me as a tainted soul ripe for salvation? And wouldn't she look at my life and the way I lived it and consider me just a little insane, too? Later that morning I was cursing, driving down the Atlanta highway looking for Ruby Tuesdays. No, the Ruby Tuesdays, as opposed to the other Ruby Tuesdays, otherwise known as the one I'd been in twice, in which I had not found Laura Mallory, but a cropped blonde woman who didn't take well to being asked twice, who she clearly wasn't, and two blonde waitresses who had chirped, Georgia, without a trace of irony when I asked where I was. I'm telling you. When she called, she was trying to hide how ticked off she was. I have to go pick up my children, she said, and asked if she was supposed to be compensated for her time. I took the request to be true naivete rather than an attempt to fleece me, and explained that no, it's not common form here to pay people for interviews, though I'm happy to pick up the tab for lunch. I hoped you could hear the begging in my voice because I had to leave the next day. Well, she said, and there was an interminable pause. There's this tape I'd like to give you. I'll come get it right now. You have 5 minutes? I don't even care what it is. It could be a tape of Satan doing the chicken dance for all I care. We met in a parking lot like we were trading state secrets. Her black Honda was polished so smooth it looked like liquid, and even though I'd seen her picture, when she rolled down the window, I was expecting a dour old lady to purse her lips at me and hold her crucifix between us. Instead, she was blonde and perky and wearing a frosted pink lipstick and a velour white jumpsuit that wouldn't be out of place in North Jersey. hair, perfectly manicured nails, and a toddler daughter in the passenger seat, twisting herself upside down and staring at me with tremendous blue eyes, sparsely covered by white blonde fringe. Mostly, I was astonished to find myself staring at just a pastel-colored soccer mom. My half-hearted wave was full of apology, and we acted politely, as ideological opposites and apparent natural enemies, greeting each other and secretly sizing each other up. She passed me a videotape. "This is the whole reason I started," she explained. "I saw this tape and I knew something had to be done." I nodded and promised to watch it, while Laura's daughter made gleeful smiles and babbled and baby giggled. "I'm so sorry it didn't work out today. Will you have time tomorrow? I'd like to talk to you about this tape and other things." Laura considered this for a minute, hesitation puckering her slightly made-up face. "I have my kids and my husband and things to do," she started, and I did my best to make my face look understanding, and like the very last thing I'd want to do is step on her day, even though we both know it's the very first thing I want to do. "All right," she conceded, "you've come all this way." The tape in my hand was old and clearly had been taken in and out of its package many times. The cover depicted a cartoon version of a black cat, a broom, and a witch's hat, in an arched stone window that faces a purpley twilight sky, and either a yellow moon or a late-risen sun with bats fluttering in front of it. Harry Potter, witchcraft repackaged, making evil look innocent. Oh boy. A few hours later, I sat in front of the television screen of my room in the airport Hyatt and watched the tape. The video that started Laura Mallory's trek to anti-patriarchal infamy played like a pastiche of all the videos I'd ever had to watch in safety assemblies in school. Early generation video graphics, cheesy music, dramatic transitions, and the unwavering belief in its own righteousness. These videos made me believe that the penalty for crossing the street against the light was to get immediately hit by a car, and that one sip of beer was bound to doom me to AA meetings for the rest of my life. Of course, I've crossed on red before, and I've had more than one sip of beer, but faced with those videos, their cheap graphics, their dramatic music, and obtuse visual cues, I became an adherent, especially after the bus safety one. The bus safety one was the worst, depicting a girl who failed to stand far enough away from the bus and slipped under it as it pulled away. I felt now like I was watching it again, watching that aerial shot of her head spinning like a top, and the camera zooming outwards to show her life spiraling into nothingness. I saw that video as a child and was never irresponsible near a bus again. But if I saw any of them as an adult, I suspected I would laugh at how ineffective they actually seemed. It was the same with this video. Images of the Harry Potter books flying by their flapping covers were cut next to documentary footage of Wiccans dancing in a circle, barefoot in the woods, and speaking of the goddess. It spoke of Lily Potter's sacrifice to save her son as sacrificial goddess magic, and an inversion of the god factor. Voldemort sucking of unicorn blood in the Forbidden Forest was taken as an encouragement to perform animal sacrifice. Clips from bookstore owners talking about children running into the store and dying to read the book were played like warning signs of drug addiction. The idea that Harry could talk to snakes was accompanied by a huge crash of music, and the most damning evidence they had was that Harry and Voldemort share Fawkes' tail feather as a core, which apparently meant that they shared a power core and somehow a penchant for evil. I pushed through it as though in the final hour of cramming for finals, though every word was personal and painful and assaulting. If I was meant to believe this video, I was meant to believe that children read Harry Potter and thought, I can do witchcraft now, rather than, I wish Hogwarts was real, but I know it's not.